Yeah, this is an event at the ICA, and what I'm trying to do is to interest people in the idea that we should have a parliament that genuinely reflects what society is like.
Mrs. Thatcher did a far greater disservice to humankind than even a
so it ought to have, to begin with, it ought to have 50% women in it. It ought to, in the big cities really, there should be, because real proportional representation would mean that you'd have about 25–30% black or ethnically diverse in sort of metropolitan cities. And then you'd have about 5–6% of those MPs would be disabled, and then of all the MPs, you'd have 1 in 4 touched somehow by mental illness. In fact, actually, if you think about it, that probably is the case already.
I'm talking about child rearing, tired, overworked, child-minding women. Child-minding women should be in charge. Child-minding women should be in charge. Boardrooms should be women and children-only areas. Every boardroom should have a creche in it. No men allowed in the boardrooms. Men knocking politely on the doors to bring tea and biscuits and juice. Men outside.
But anyway, the idea is to make a parliament which isn't just full of white men. And I know what it is like to be a white man. I do know that it's a bit like being the grey squirrel, because you're quite charming and pleasant and everything, but you just get absolutely everywhere in society. And I think society is about winning prizes, it's about coming first, all those things, which are real kind of male things really. And it means that power just stays with men year in, year out, decade in, decade out. And I think that ought to change.
Women should be in charge. Women should be in charge. Women should be in charge.
So that was a specially made cut of a John Rogers film, and John's been following Bob since 2009, in fact. He's going to be making a feature documentary about Bob's work.
I want to be in charge because it might bring new people into conversation. But I think we should do that while learning some of the lessons of the past.
I guess my first response to the title of tonight's event, that women should be in charge, was also a panic. I say, what else do we need to be in charge of?
Esther's Law, of course we in this room say yes, of course, as an idea. Yes, but what and how do we do this? Because it makes absolute sense that 50% of the people in Parliament should be women.
I'm actually drawing a politician here, actually.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I'm drawing Barbara Castle. When I was a kid, Barbara Castle was always on the television. She was a fantastic person, and she basically she was a Labour politician from the left, but they were in power, and they had to put a payment policy in because the country was broke, and she pushed through this policy that people have forgotten now, but it was called In Place of Strife. And actually it was kind of her downfall. But it was a brave thing to do because she had to stand up for all these unionists who were largely men who, you know, in a way, they were fighting for their workers, but they were also sort of self-interested, and she had to stand up in front of them and push forward this In Place of Strife thing, which is basically a payment policy.
Fantastic. Can we see a picture?
Yeah. I don't know if I've done justice to Barbara, but that's Barbara Castle.
Women should be in charge.